Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into the world of personal training. More specifically, what goes into building a successful PT business.
And we've got some really fascinating material to dig into.
We do. We're looking at a detailed business plan, marketing strategies, and even getting inside the head of, well, potential clients.
Yeah, and you know what I found really interesting? It's this PT's focus on empowering their clients through knowledge.
Okay, so let's unpack that a bit. What does that actually look like in practice? Because it sounds like it's going a bit beyond just like showing someone how to use a treadmill.
Right, exactly. It's not just about the what, it's about the why. So imagine this. You're in a training session, and your trainer isn't just telling you what to do. They're explaining how different muscle groups work, the science behind calorie expenditure, even how stress can impact your fitness goals.
So it's almost like they're giving their clients the tools to be their own personal trainers in a way.
In a way, yeah.
Mhm.
They're giving them the knowledge to make informed decisions about their health, even outside of their sessions.
Which makes a lot of sense because if we look at the two main client groups this PT works with, they each have their own sets of challenges and probably even insecurities when it comes to fitness.
And those two groups are.
We're talking about, on the one hand, elderly individuals, we're talking sort of 55 plus, and then on the other end of the spectrum, young adults. So think that 16 to 25 age range.
And they're facing completely different challenges when it comes to fitness, right?
Absolutely. And even just the thought processes around fitness. So let's start with those 55 and up. Um, the material mentions that this group often faces a lot of psychological barriers to getting fit. What are some of those barriers?
Well, think about it. You're retired or maybe nearing retirement. You haven't really exercised much, if at all, in a while. And now you're supposed to walk into a gym, probably full of younger, fitter people.
Yeah, talk about intimidating.
Right. It can be really daunting. They might feel self-conscious about their bodies, how fit they are, even just knowing how to use the equipment.
It's like they need a personal guide, not just for the workout itself, but for navigating like this whole fitness landscape that they might be totally unfamiliar with.
And that's exactly where this PT's knowledge-first approach comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Because by understanding the why behind the exercises, the benefits tailored specifically to their age, and maybe even limitations they might have, well, it can give them a sense of control, even confidence.
So it's not just lift this weight, it's lift this weight because it will help with this specific movement that you might be struggling with.
Exactly. And that shift in mindset can make all the difference.
Now, if we think about that younger demographic, those 16, 25-year-olds, they're practically glued to their phones, constantly bombarded with information, a lot of it conflicting, especially when it comes to health and fitness. So how does this PT's philosophy work for them?
It's actually really fascinating. This generation, they're savvy. They know when they're being marketed to. They're used to getting information instantly. So by offering them evidence-based knowledge, it's like cutting through all that noise they're dealing with constantly.
Giving them something real, something authentic.
And don't forget the whole body image issue.
Mm.
Social media can really distort that, especially for that age group.
Oh, absolutely.
But this PT's approach, it emphasizes personal well-being over, achieving a certain look.
Mm.
And that can be really refreshing, wouldn't you say?
Totally. It's like this breath of fresh air for them.
And by teaching them about fitness, about nutrition, it's empowering them to be critical thinkers. They can actually start to discern between what's a fad and what's actually going to be beneficial for them long term.
So it's about building a healthy relationship with their bodies based on knowledge, not just, how many likes they get on a post.
Exactly. It's about understanding that fitness is a journey. It's not a destination.
It's amazing how this PT is really tailoring their approach to these different clients, meeting them where they are.
Right.
But we've talked a lot about the kind of like the personal touch, the importance of knowledge.
Yeah.
But you can't run a successful business on passion alone.
Unfortunately not, no.
So let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah. Let's talk business.
What does this PT's business plan actually look like?
Well, this is where you can really see that they've done their homework.
Okay.
They've got a really solid plan. Startup costs, projected income, even potential liabilities. I mean, they're not just planning for success, they're planning for sustainability, which is really important.
And that's huge. I mean, they've even factored in things like equity at risk, which you don't always see.
No, you don't. But it's smart, right? Because imagine this. Something happens, they have to walk away from the business.
Yeah.
On day one, even they've calculated that they could potentially lose their entire initial investment, which is, not insignificant.
Wow. No, that's a brave thing to confront right off the bat. But it also highlights a sense of responsibility, not just to the business, but to their own financial well-being.
Absolutely. And again, it goes back to that whole philosophy of empowerment through knowledge.
Yeah.
They're applying that same principle to their business, understanding the risks, making informed decisions.
Okay, so let's get into the numbers. What kind of financial investment are we actually talking about here?
So they're estimating about $4,000 in initial setup costs,
Okay.
which sounds like a lot, but it covers essentials like licensing, maybe some basic equipment,
Sure.
and then the stuff that people often don't think about, like legal and accounting fees.
Yeah, those are important,
Very important. And then, of course, there are the ongoing expenses.
which can really add up.
Oh, tell me about it. They budgeted about $240 per week for things like, you know, maybe renting training space if they're not working out of their home, marketing materials,
Right.
just sort of keeping the lights on, essentially.
Yeah.
And that's not even getting into the annual expenses, things like accounting fees, maybe advertising.
So they're thinking long-term from the get-go.
Absolutely. And here's where it gets interesting. They've also gone beyond just like covering the business expenses. And they've calculated their own personal financial needs as well.
Yeah.
So rent or mortgage payments, bills, even putting some money aside for savings.
Sure.
Right. They're building a business that supports their life, not the other way around.
That's a really holistic approach, and honestly, I bet that resonates with their clients too.
I think so, yeah.
Now, we've talked about all this money coming in or projected to come in,
Yes.
but they've also, you mentioned, thought about potential liabilities.
Yeah, and they've actually taken steps to minimize those risks, particularly in their client agreements.
Okay, how so?
Well, they're really focusing on clear payment structures, especially when it comes to like their accountant and their lawyer.
Yeah.
Those agreements are milestone based. So if they need to like pause the business for whatever reason,
Yeah.
they're not stuck with, all these unpaid invoices.
That makes sense. So it's about protecting themselves
Exactly.
from any unforeseen circumstances?
And they've even looked into whether their insurance policy offers like a prorated refund if they have to cancel early.
I mean, talk about attention to detail.
Right. It's those little things that can really make a big difference.
Totally.
So, yeah. It's clear that this PT is, they're in it for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just trying to make a quick buck.
No.
They're building something sustainable, something that will benefit both them and their clients for years to come.
It's really inspiring to see that level of planning, especially for someone who's just starting out. But let's talk about getting those clients in the door.
Yes.
Because a great business plan only gets you so far if you don't have any clients to work with.
Right. You gotta have people to train.
Exactly.
So marketing.
Yes, marketing. How does this PT actually plan to market their services? Especially because, remember, we've got two very different target audiences here.
We do.
Yeah.
And that's where their kind of deep understanding of each client group's motivations and habits really comes into play, because they've actually developed targeted strategies for both the elderly clients and that younger demographic.
Okay, so let's break it down, starting with the 55 and up crowd.
Okay.
They're probably not, scrolling through Instagram looking for fitness inspiration.
Probably not, no.
So how do you reach them?
So for this group, it's about meeting them where they are, both literally and figuratively, right?
Okay.
This PT understands that building trust, rapport, that's key for this demographic. So instead of relying on social media ads or anything like that, they're focusing on community outreach.
So what does that look like in action? Are we talking like, old school flyers at the local coffee shop?
Think like well-designed flyers, but posted at community centers, libraries, maybe even local clinics.
Right.
And the flyers would really highlight the benefits of exercise specifically for seniors.
Right. Tailored to them.
Exactly. Improve mobility, strength, overall well-being, stuff that they actually care about.
So it's about speaking directly to their needs and concerns
And using a medium that they're comfortable with.
that they're going to see.
Right. And they're also planning to have a presence at local events.
Okay.
So, set up a booth at a farmer's market, a health fair, something like that.
Yeah.
That allows for that face-to-face interaction, which can be really impactful for this demographic.
Absolutely, because then they can ask questions.
Exactly.
They can actually voice any concerns they might have.
And get a feel for the PT's personality.
Yeah.
See if it's a good fit,
And I imagine, too, something like a free consultation would be a really powerful tool for that group.
Oh, absolutely. Lowers the barrier to entry.
Yeah.
Gives them a chance to, learn more, ask questions risk-free.
Okay, now let's switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
Talk about those tech-savvy young adults.
Yes.
Very different marketing playbook, I would assume.
A little bit different, yeah.
What's the strategy there?
So with this group, it's all about digital engagement.
Okay.
Think targeted social media ads, but again, speaking their language, addressing the pressures they face, the goals they have.
So less about like achieving a certain look and more about, feeling good, building confidence, fitting fitness into their busy lives.
Exactly. And you can also leverage like online communities,
Oh, interesting.
offer online challenges, workshops, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes
Create
sense.
that sense of belonging.
Community.
Exactly.
Now, referrals, got to be a big one for both groups, but especially, I would think, in a business like this that's built on trust, personal connection.
Oh, referrals are huge.
Mm.
And this PT gets that. They're thinking about implementing a referral program. So, incentivize existing clients to bring their friends on board.
Love it. It's a win-win.
Exactly. Expands their client base, builds community.
And speaking of community, that's really what this PT seems to be all about, right? It's not just building a business. It's about, fostering this network of support, of shared knowledge.
It's about empowering people to take control of their health.
Yeah. And that's really what we've been talking about this whole time, isn't it? This idea that building a successful personal training business, it's about so much more than just knowing the exercises.
It's about understanding people.
Yeah, their motivations, their fears, their goals.
And meeting them where they are.
And maybe, even more importantly, walking the talk, demonstrating that same commitment to knowledge, to planning, to well-being in everything you do.
Absolutely.
Well, on that note, we've covered a lot of ground today in this deep dive
We have.
into the world of personal training. We've looked at the importance of knowledge, the power of tailored approaches, and the often overlooked business side of things.
All very important stuff.
It really is.
Either you're a trainer or a client.
Exactly. And as you reflect on everything we discussed today, consider this. How can you apply these principles of knowledge, empowerment, and, these really targeted strategies to your own fitness and well-being journey? That's all the time we have for today's deep dive, but we'll be back again soon with another fascinating topic. Until next time.